Okay, welcome back to Survivor Guatemala. All right.
Yes.
Previously, we had the best episode of the season, baby.
Easily, it got my Survivor star too. I spent Alex
What a
star of the.
beautiful. It was a double tribal council, and we
Hmm.
had Judd, the absolute uh, uh, iconic tribal council, was just going off on Margaret
Yeah,
and
iconic.
standing up during this rant and everything. It's like a whole scene.
It
And
was it was a scene. He made a scene,
yeah.
and everyone just kind of had to go along with it because that was
Bobby
what the
John said, "Touch my leg" at one point.
yeah, whatever the fuck he said. I don't know what he said.
According to
Oh,
you.
okay, sorry, F word before a minute in. Sorry, YouTube, but um,
Go fuck yourself, YouTube. Get the fuck out of here. The
honestly, at
video's
this
not for
point,
you.
what you did to the Act Man, I don't. Anyway, Survivor.
So we got who was voted out? Who was voted out that episode?
Brian
Margaret and Brian.
Brian is out at Yasha, Margaret's out at Nakum, and I think Brian was because it was a little too strategic or whatever. He was
That's
the
kind of what we're
mastermind.
getting out of it.
Yeah,
Like
playing a little too hard too early.
it was a 3-3 tie at this point between like the previous tribes layout in that one,
Yeah,
and they were just willing. Gary and Amy, I guess, were just willing to vote him out to make it easier on themselves. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. There was a big ball challenge that got Amy real hurt.
yeah, Fall Guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
I literally called it Fall Guys. That's what they named it. In
oh
here.
yeah. And then we had the immunity challenge for the winning tribe, even though they were both going to tribal council. And then Rafe won that immunity and got to sit in on the second tribal council, or the second tribal council. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and so he could have thrown a wrench into their whole production, but
yeah,
he just gave immunity to Gary. My theory is that he just didn't want to interfere because then like he'd have to deal with them at the merge potentially, like being mad at
yeah.
ruining plans or whatever. That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
it's especially, and he also could have thought, like, especially with the way everyone was talking about Brian being, as strategic as he was, it could have been a thing where where he might have wanted to, maybe it is a good idea to get rid of him, so I'm not even going to try to save him.
Yeah, but I
That kind of
would have
thing.
thought logically you might pick Amy because she's probably the weakest now because of that
Yeah,
injury. So you'd want her on their team,
yeah,
but that wouldn't have affected it anyway.
yeah, yeah. I think the sort of non-interference theory seems to be the kind of what he went for, but
hmm
yeah,
And it just seems Bobby John and Jamie are bucking up to each other every
yeah.
chance they get in these
I
challenges.
know it's freaking wild.
It's like that
It's
meathead Southern mentality. You gotta love them for
it's
it.
Yeah, well, I'm Southern. I came up to it the only way I knew how. And it's
Yeah, I
like,
had to buck up to him because, yeah. I
touch
don't
my leg.
know. I don't know what you were talking about. You were saying some wild things. They're not.
I said some wild things.
Yeah. Like you were
Oh.
imagining them saying sexual things to each other. Or it was just kind of an
Imagining.
image in your head.
I don't think I had to imagine anything. I think we all saw what we saw.
Yeah, right. All right. And so we'll see what comes of it now. Should be interesting. Let's see the
Yeah.
fallout of those two after the two tribal councils here. How many people
Yeah.
are we down to now?
Yeah. So we're down to
We're 5 on the one tribe after Brian was voted out,
right.
and
So
then how was it 5 on the other one too?
yeah, we down to 10 already. No, we couldn't be.
Because
Let's see.
Jud's tribe is Stephanie, Jamie,
J-
Rafe, Lydia, Judd, Cindy.
Cindy,
I think that
and
might
then we
be
have
6,
Ga-
and then there's 5
is-
in the other one. It's
yeah, Gary, Bobby John, Brandon. Uh,
no, Cindy's on the other one.
no, what the sports girl? I can't remember her name.
Danny and
Danny
Amy.
and Amy. Yeah, so that's the 5.
So we got 11 left.
11. So we're still before the merge.
Mhm.
So anything could happen.
So the challenges will still be important to see how the overall shape of the tribes works. But it's interesting because it hasn't necessarily always been voting on tribal lines during these during the swap situation, like
because they sort of swapped midway through. It was an episode like 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, last episode they voted out Blake, or 2 episodes they voted out Blake, and then that brought it down to 3-3 on the one tribe.
Yeah.
But even then, not once they got 3-3, they didn't go to a tie. They were still willing to like turn on Brian. So.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, the other tribe, it's more like Judd flipped, and now they were taken out. They took out Brooke and then Margaret. So you would think maybe Cindy next, but who knows?
So have to see.
We'll
see.
As always, you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction, and then come back afterwards for the discussion. Okay.
All right. See you then.
There you have it, episode 7 of Survivor Guatemala. And we have Amy voted out here right before the merge, and we actually can say that definitively. We will merge next time. Yes, the big question was Bobby John or Amy. Is she able to convince them to go for Amy or for Bobby John?
This to me was like, so we see this often where it's like if the vote is like kind of an inevitability that you kind of get like, but I think this is probably one of the more successful examples of them being able to kind of spin it around to make it seem like, oh, maybe it really is the case that they were able to do it, especially because the suggestion didn't come from her. It wasn't like her trying to convince people. It seemed like Danny was positing it as an idea, but it didn't seem to go too much further than that. So it was more interesting than oftentimes that they do this where they're like, oh well, it could be between this person, but it's like you all kind of know like who they're gonna vote for.
Next vote.
Yeah.
It's like maybe Bobby John, if they came down to the argument like Bobby John already got to play before.
Yeah.
So that's so I think Danny kind of realized when she was saying it to her, she was like, well, I don't want to vote Bobby John out because he never made the merge. But then she kind of like figured it out in her head. She's like, oh well, you didn't make the merge either, so
yeah.
So that's not really a reason to not vote him out.
Right, especially because it's like he's already freaking played the game before. You haven't.
Like Bobby John had his shot, but I mean he did have the hardest route to get to the merge of anyone ever. Like anyone, the hardest fought person to lose out on the merge by 1 vote, because he outlasted his entire tribe up until and just lost the fire making challenge to Stephanie.
Yeah, by like seconds.
So it's like
literal seconds, and it was like
I guess he got his shot, but it wasn't really
he was the one
shot at it. But.
And he was the one that like straight up taught her how to do that too. So
yeah,
it was funny.
So it's interesting to think about how that actually came into play, how they were talking about it, and Brandon seemed to actually be a little wrestling with it a little bit at least. But I mean,
that freaking epic music they made.
Yeah.
I
think ultimately he's his southern brother, so he's gonna stick with them anyway. But the idea that they might be more deserving than Bobby John since he played already. But as we had that talk in Palau, deserving doesn't necessarily matter in Survivor either.
I will say there was some pretty amazing edits in this episode. Yeah. The freaking comedy, like straight up comedy edit where Brandon was like talking and it like before the sound of his voice stops, it just hard cut to like something else.
Yeah.
That was
like the classic case of like he's just giving us nothing. It's like he could be.
He's like, yep, I sure am.
Through the like over the moon, excited about something, and it'll still come off as just like he's not care at all.
Yeah.
Just like monotone.
Just like that, or like, yeah. Yes, there was that. It's like, well, he's a snake. He lies sometimes, but he does tell the truth other times. It's kind of like.
He tells the truth sometimes too.
Yeah.
It's not like that, Dara.
It's not that bad. It's not that. She literally was like a charisma suck. Like she literally. I was
he's
like
worse than Dara. He's only worse.
You think he's worse than Dara? Well, Dara. I guess. Wow. No, you're actually kind of right because Dara at least was like entertaining. I guess to a degree, like that aspect was like
Yeah.
It was entertaining and funny, and with Brandon, I can't even remember what he says half the time. Well, there was that, and then there was also the the howler monkey respecting Amy. She's ziplining. He was like, oh, oh. Like he was like freaking out. It was great. That made me. That made
me and he had all the respect in the world for her for doing that.
It was very funny.
I mean, we had to talk. Gary, it's funny. Gary is like similar in that he has like the same monotone delivery and everything, but he's just interesting. Like,
he's just an interesting personality. He seems to have like more. I don't know. He just gets along with people better, or he just.
But it's funny because he's like not. He won't make like a dramatic stance on anything. It seems like everybody comes to him and he's like, "Well, if that's what they decide, I'm down for it." You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Whatever they decide, I'm gonna back them up on. I'm gonna show them I'm loyal.
Yeah, he's like, I'm with you. I'm with you if Danny is.
I'm with you if Danny is. You know, I don't want to make a hard stance on it. You know.
Yeah, but
so
it's
interesting
because
to him for like reassurance in their alliance, and he's like, "Well, we'll see what happens." I guess. I mean.
So we had Survivor first in this episode, also.
Yeah.
Like fraternizing, like a pre-merge fraternizing, like little party. They had a pool party because Danny's birthday. It's like it's my birthday, and I want people over at my birthday. And I was like, "What are you like? What are you like 6?" Like,
I mean, most times. Yeah, most times they don't let them do that, and most times I don't think there's really ever a possibility to do that because they don't even know where the other camp is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They just casually they just cut to them already on their way to the camp, and then they're just there.
Yeah, it's like did they have to get permission? Because maybe she was like, "Well, it's my birthday, and I just want them to come over."
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
She probably just brought it up to one of the people off camera, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do that. That'd be fun." But the fact the reception of like
Stone Cold Jamie.
Jamie wanted nothing to do with it. They're the enemy. Why would we go with the enemy? And Cindy was also didn't want to go. Just this idea that they're just so stuck in their tribe that they're, especially. I mean, Jamie, I get it, but Cindy, like you're the one left on the outs. Shouldn't you want to make friends with the enemy at this point?
Yeah.
I feel like, and these people are just like they don't realize the fact of the game where you're gonna merge, and it's actually literally the next after this vote they're gonna merge. So
yeah, and you're voting against each other.
So like you might still be in an alliance against them, but you're gonna be living with them at that point anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It seems and
childish
to be like you're the enemy.
Yeah, and people and people in your tribe might turn against you at that point too.
Yeah.
So it's happened before, plenty of times.
The whole fun of Survivor, the team dynamic only to an extent. Like you already should be thinking about after the fact when it becomes individual. And it's like everybody was socializing and whatnot, but Jamie was the one just sitting there not saying a word. Yeah, he's just
like sitting there. Yeah, and Stephanie was like,
"It's all business to me." But it's not a good way to do business, honestly.
Yeah, the business was the interaction, like you said. It was like the connection.
On all of it. Like no one's gonna want to work with you ever.
Yeah.
Like even when he told him to leave, and now his own tribe is like, "What?" Stephanie's like, I don't even know what to do with this guy.
Yeah, it's like Stephanie was just like, "You're acting weird." She was like, "You're acting creepy." I think she said, "You're so creepy looking over there, just sitting over there, not talking to anybody."
I don't know what he's thinking because not only are you not gonna like the other tribe's not gonna work with you because they're the enemy to you, but now your own tribe is like weirded out by your childish behavior.
That's an odd business deal. Normally business, true business, you want to try to kill the competition with kindness, right?
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. That's a strategy, I guess.
The true business is Brian Heidick.
Yeah.
On Survivor
Freaking
Thailand,
Brian.
it's a business trip to him.
Yeah.
He said.
Yeah. This is a business trip. Yeah, and he did it extremely well because he was, even though we joked often about him basically just being an android simulating human emotion, he still worked his magic somehow. He was able to do it. Yeah. People trusted him.
He did his thing.
Yeah.
That's a business trip. You come in and you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's keeping quiet, which is like the thing that Judd doesn't like to do. He's like, I'm not just gonna keep quiet if people are trash talking me. But sometimes that's what the business requires for you in this game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
best
Judd.
Survivor players are the ones that understand that, and they're.
I like how Judd at the end he was like, oh well, I don't do that stuff at camp, and I like how there were two like symbol stings, and it was like cut to like Stephanie and Cindy are both like sitting there like, yeah, you do.
Because he literally was throwing a fit about the beer gate the other day.
Yeah.
But it'll be really all these personalities. Like you got Bobby John and Jamie coming together. You got Judd in the mix. Like this will be a really interesting merge.
Yes, it's gonna be a heck of a merge. That's for sure. Well, we already see. It looked like in the preview tensions are already flaring with.
And we'll see who gets left out of the jury. If it's the typical jury or layout, I think one person would be left out of the jury after the merge.
Yeah, because it's 7.
Because last time they didn't do that with Palau, it ended up they merged with the whole jury there.
Yeah, because they merged. I think after. I'm trying to remember exactly how that worked, but yeah, they merged. When they merged is when they only had 9 people left. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who's left out there. Bobby John, he was clearly stressing this whole episode. He didn't want to miss out on the merge again by 1 vote. So he overcame that at least.
There you go. He did it.
And there's the Stephanie Bobby John of it all too. Like, what's their interaction gonna be like? So
yeah,
there's a lot. There's a lot there. Oh, and then the maybe more of the Gary and Danny stuff too. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really fleshed that out yet, but maybe that'll come into
yes, they keep sort of hinting at that. You know, even Amy in this episode was like, "I'm gonna come after you if I find out you're lying to me." You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's gonna be interesting.
Will be interesting.
Who would you give your MVP to for the episode?
It's an interesting question.
For those just joining us, Alec awards Most Valuable Player award every episode that we watch, and that could be for any reason. Really, doesn't necessarily mean the best player.
I'm giving it to Danny. Giving it to Danny. She was more prominent this episode than she's ever been in any other episode. She's the one that offered Amy the out. She's the one that decided it's my birthday. I'm gonna have a pool party. So that whole which was my favorite scene of the whole episode, which was the interesting like a thing that's never really happened in Survivor before. So
she kind of gave us everything in this episode. She gave us the possible Bobby John, the possibility, and she gave us the whole pool party interaction. Yeah.
Well, challenges were both quite fun, I will say.
Oh, yeah.
Don't downplay those. And also everyone's stuffing their face full of chocolate. Yeah, freaking Brandon. I will remember this day as the day I did zipline, and then I also stuffed myself full of chocolate. The most chocolate I ever did eat.
I love the country charm just oozes on this season.
I don't even know if he's like a Southern guy or he's like just a California surfer dude.
He is he's like Kansas or
Kansas or something. Yeah.
He said that last the episode I just edited. He was like the great state of Kansas, and then there's the little twang noise.
Great state of Kansas.
So yeah, that's why like him and Bobby John were tight, and then you have Jamie, who's another Southern guy,
Southern boy. Yeah, I think they're Alabama. Bobby John's Alabama, I think, right?
Yeah, and I think Jamie was Georgia.
Something like that, yeah.
Because he said at one point there was like a rivalry. Alabama and Georgia have this rivalry thing going.
Yeah. The Southern guys, am I right? What about an all Southern Survivor? That would probably be pretty horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Everybody talking about their John Deere tractors.
Oh, jeez, freaking Scrooge John Deere. You know?
Hate that guy.
It's the worst.
But it'll be interesting to see Bobby John and Jamie interacting now after all their.
Oh yeah, after the chest bumping, the antler
bucking.
Bucking, yeah. touch my leg. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see if that maybe happens.
There's some tension there. I don't know. We'll see.
That would be the most hilarious twist. They just cut to them making out.
Making out. I would cheer. I feel like I would cheer. Like it would be
a moment, a television moment for the ages.
It would be. That would be. That'd be
Southern boys who are being all tough guy on each other, making out.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It'd be epic. Yeah.
Beautiful, and the Maya Empire, right there in the
Maya. Oh yeah, I'm sure the Maya would love that too. I'm sure they would be really into that.
In the steps of the temple.
Yeah.
Beautiful scene. Wow.
A beautiful scene. All right. There you have it.
That's it.
That's it.
Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell, hit all the links in the description for social media, and to leave any feedback for us. Alec, where would you recommend our viewers go after this video?
Oh, you should go watch the episode. Go watch the 13th episode of Survivor Palau.
13th episode of Survivor Palau. What happened on that episode?
There's some.
Who got voted out on that episode?
Karen.
Oh,
it was a good. It was a good episode. I like that episode. Yeah, and Tom becomes cold and strong arming. That was when I think that was the episode where we were Tom is just straight up gaslighting at this point.
Oh, he'd been gaslighting king for some time.
He had been, but that was when we were Kate was I don't like him like this. I don't like him when he gets all cold like that, because he's yeah, well, all right, well, you agree with me, right? Well, of course
Tom
you do.
Sucks today. Is that did she say that in that episode, or is that Tom sucks today?
Sucks today. Someone sucks today.
Tom did. Tom sucks today.
Yeah, Tom sucks today. I might have been in that episode. Yeah.
What a ride! And the fact that we still got the spirit of Palau in us for this season with Bobby John and Stephanie still there.
Bobby John and Stephanie, they're still around.
They both made the merge at least.
Yeah, how about that?
And, it could have been an easy target on their back for sure.
Well, it might be now that the merge is here. So
yeah.
Right. But it's interesting seeing how ingrained they are even in these tribes. So yeah.
Yeah. Because they were so inseparable as part of their tribe in Palau, and now they had their own separate tribes that they're really in the center of, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Until next time.
Till next time.
Take care of yourselves.